Wednesday, August 3rd is when we will be resuming in-person solution groups. We're pretty excited. It's been a year and a half since COVID. We've been very lucky and grateful for the opportunity with Zoom. It's been great to stay connected with all of you, but we sure miss everybody in person. So we will be resuming in person at our office up in Federal Way. It will still be available via Zoom as well. So no worries for you long distance people. You can still tune in just the same. But we are so excited to see everybody come August 3rd. And on that particular night, we're going to have a special barbecue. So it's going to be a big party. So mark your calendars. If you can be there early and get there at 5, come, or get there as soon as you can. We're going to have a big barbecue in the parking lot. And then the meeting at 7. So mark your calendars. And a couple more announcements is Moms Group. So tomorrow morning, you're in for a special Moms Group. Becky Wiggins is going to be there for you tomorrow and lead the group tomorrow. Becky, there's Becky. So it'll be real fun for everybody to get to know Becky. I will be on a flight to Florida tomorrow morning. So she's going to take over for me. So thank you, Becky. That's Moms Group. And if you haven't been a part of Moms Group yet, all you moms are invited every Wednesday morning, 11 a.m. It's just an hour we take to have coffee together and connect and talk and get to know each other. So please join us. If you need the link, just pop me or Kristen a message and we'll get you the Zoom link and you can join us. So please do. And if you're new tonight, everybody starts out muted. We'll give you an opportunity to introduce yourself later. We'd love to say hi to everybody and meet you, but everybody starts out muted. I'll give you direction later on how to unmute yourself and when you want to speak and all that good stuff. So where is our comedian? I'm looking for him. We have Kyle. I saw him, but oh, there he is. Hey, Kyle, are you ready? We're ready for some.
Yep.
Kyle's Comedy Corner.
Comedy Corner.
Yeah, give me a minute to find you so I can spotlight you. My screens some weeks get a little funky. There you are. Okay, I have someone else on. I'm going to unspotlight the Wiggins. There we go. Okay, Kyle, take it away. Do we have our sound effects ready? That was great last week. Are you ready, Travis? Go ahead, Kyle. So this is Kyle from Rebuild Recovery, a manager over there, and he gives us our comedy every Tuesday. So go ahead, Kyle.
Okay. Are we ready now?
We're ready.
Okay. What's made of leather and sounds like a sneeze? A shoe. I didn't hear any sound effects.
Oh, there's no sound effect. People are laughing and they're all muted. This is horrible because I can see everybody laughing.
Okay. All right. Why don't monsters eat ghosts? Because they taste like sheet. There we go. Okay. What do you call a detective who's also an electrician? Sherlock Holmes. I was really nope. When the doctor told me he had a cure for my dyslexia, it was music to my ears. Okay. What do you call it when James Bond takes a bath? 007. So we have Travis over there at the house. He's not the sharpest tool in the shed. The other day, he said, Kyle, I saw a deer on the way to work. I said, Travis, deers don't have jobs. That's it. That's all I got.
Thanks, Kyle.
Yeah.
Very good, Kyle. Thank you. It's fun seeing all the screens and everybody laughing. You guys are great. It was really good, Kyle. Thank you. All right. My screens are really funky. I'm looking for you, Art. All right. I see ya. Are you ready over there?
Sure.
All right. Take it away, Art.
How's it sound, Ange?
Keep talking.
Okay.
Looking good and red over there.
You want me to tell my story?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
This is great. All right, guys. Yeah, listen to this story. This is great. Yes.
Well, no. You know, I spend every week kind of ranting, a lot of the weeks ranting on crime and lenient cops and
Oh, okay. Like we're getting some signals about the sound. Let's everybody's saying up.
Good. How's it now?
Yes, good.
Is that better?
Yes, much.
Angie is a little darker.
Hello?
Yeah, it is darker. Oh, it was good wherever you had it there, Art. It is a
Okay,
bit
are we
darker,
good now?
but yeah, it is a bit darker. Stamp is saying, but
Okay.
I think let's just make sure the sound's good. I think we're good.
Trying to keep it cool in here.
Yeah.
There you go.
A little more light. There we go. That's better. Thanks, Chris.
We got some feedback. Is it good now?
Yes.
Okay, somebody's not muted, Ange.
Okay, yeah, I'll just mute you again, Chris, and then we'll
right.
get you unmuted when we talk to you again. All right.
So anyways, everyone knows I have a stance on, crime and the leniency and how it's a problem in the state. But today I had to take Josh and Hannah to work. And, I do have a fast car. There's a big problem with having a fast car. Nobody wants you to go fast anywhere. So today I drove them to work. And the other thing that people should know about me, I believe in the stop part of a red light. I do believe in that you should stop at a red light. I don't believe you should sit there when nobody's going. And so we were stopped at the red light, and I decided it was just best to leave and go through there because everyone was just sitting there. And but basically I'm not a trained monkey. Just because that light says red, I don't need to sit there. I can go, So I took off. And then very quickly the car got to about, 80 or 90 miles an hour, Josh? 100 miles an hour. And we were on Benson, which is a big road in Kent. And we looked over and there was a cop. And he turned his lights on to let me know that he saw me. And then he began to come and chase me. And I was kind of told him, oh, they got me. Here he comes. He's coming to get me. And then the guy came and pulled up next to me and he had me he rolled down the window and he made me roll down my window and he goes, don't do that anymore. And I go, I got you. I won't. And then I left. And that was my, yeah, he said, don't do that anymore. So and then when he said, don't do that anymore, I hope he knew that I meant today. Like, I won't do it anymore today. I'm not that stupid, but we will continue to do that, So anyways, cops ain't all bad.
You must not need a quota anymore.
I don't know what it was.
There's a new legislation that just passed for like the homeless and like the leniency and
Yeah, maybe he thought I was part of the homeless crowd.
they're probably just letting the good people off. because
Yeah, maybe
they
the
don't-
good people.
I don't
Yeah.
think they agree with it.
Well, I
Say-
felt that the
I say only Art would get out of actually being pulled over and getting a ticket for such a thing. Only Art.
Yeah.
He has good luck
Yeah.
with it. Good energy with stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want the kids to see me get punished by a cop. I mean, I got these guys with me. I'm supposed to be a role model. I think me and the cops seen eye to eye. We're both role models in the community.
They saw Josh.
Yeah.
You said we should try to lose him.
Yeah, I did say I did mention when he started to turn around And I did try to, well, that guy was blocking me, but I did say, let's see if we can outrun him. But I didn't really get a chance to go because the light was red and there was too many cars and I couldn't get through there. But I was going to try to lose him. But yeah. So anyways.
I think Chris Dersh wants to say something.
Yeah,
Did you unmute?
Okay.
I happen to know the speed limit on Benson is between 40 and 45. And I know that if that was me, my ass would be in jail right now.
Yeah. Well, Chris, I think you got to look at that stuff as more of a suggestion.
Yeah.
It's not always, it's not always the truth. It also does say around, it also like, don't do drugs is a big suggestion we've heard all of our life, but yet here we all are. I mean, Yes. Yes. Red lights are a suggestion. Speed limits, they're all suggestions. Yes. Are we ready, Ange?
We're so ready, yeah.
Okay. All right. So, when I got into recovery, I didn't know what it was, and I didn't know what I was recovering from. I just assumed that it was this thing that, I wouldn't do drugs and then that would be okay and my life would get better and I don't do drugs. And that just seemed like so the goal then in recovery began, it was just don't do drugs. But very quickly after you learn that that's just not enough. There's something else that happens. So you learn that there was a reason that you use drugs and there was a reason why this mess happened. And so as I began to look into it, and for me, it was a different thing. I kind of dove in head first with the idea that something about needing to find myself or something about needing to figure out what was wrong with me. And I took that very seriously. There's got to be something wrong with me. There's got to be something that makes me different than everyone else. Why do I have this thing that I just want to feel different? What's wrong? Why can't I feel the way it feels? And why can't I stand it? So I really began this investigation. I had this, and for the first 3 years of my recovery, I didn't even understand any of this, but what I'm about to tell you. But for the first 3 years, I go to a meeting and I would just stay sober and I would just do these meetings. And I just went there and I went there and I went there and I prayed to God and asked him to hey, please don't let me do drugs. And then I would go to these meetings and it seemed to keep me sober, but I still wasn't getting down with the investigation. I still didn't have answers. I had no answers into why. So it led me to this place where I was fearful that if I didn't go to a meeting that day, if I didn't do something that day, that maybe I would get high. And there was weird things. I had almost it was almost superstitious. It was like, oh shit, if I don't pray and if I don't go to a meeting and I don't make my bed and I don't call my sponsor and I don't do these things, I begin to develop these superstitions, like walking under a ladder is going to give me bad luck or seeing a black cat. And so recovery it was this superstition about what recovery is. It was like, oh, okay, it was this thing that I had to do every day. And I really thought of myself as this person that had to do these things. And if I didn't do these things, then eventually that night, maybe I would get high, if I didn't pray, or that night, if I didn't go to a meeting, I would get high. And it wasn't any way to live. It wasn't. It was a scared way to live where I was always on the edge. And so I knew the investigation wasn't complete. I knew that I had not done something. So I met this guy named Bob. I played poker with this guy from Boston, and his name was Bob, and he spoke with this Boston accent and, kind of a Boston Brooklyn mix guy. And he's this little asshole. He just really was an asshole, and he plays poker and nobody likes him. He gets kicked out of everywhere, but he's very honest, brutally honest. But what he did for a living was he taught this thing. And I asked him, what did you teach? I didn't ever heard of it before, a little bit with Eckhart Tolle, but he said, I teach consciousness. And I didn't know what that meant. I was 40 years old and I didn't know what consciousness meant. I didn't know what it meant to be conscious. I didn't know what it meant. And I didn't know what the Buddha meant when he said to awaken. And I didn't know what awakening was. But Bob told me that what consciousness was this thing, like we're aware of ourselves. So it's like we're aware of ourselves. We're aware that we're not this character. So that was a little bit what Bob did. And I said, Bob, what type of, and one day I thought I had it all figured out. And so I called Bob and I said, now that I'm aware of myself, now that I'm studying Eckhart Tolle, now that I'm conscious, now that I'm awake to this fact, and I'll tell you what the fact is, but I said, Bob, I'm awake to it. And there's other people that are asleep to it. So there's people that are asleep to the fact and people that are awake to the fact. And those are the only two type of people. So I said, Bob, and I had it convinced. I called Bob in the morning and I said, Bob, There's two types of people in the world. There's the conscious and there's the unconscious. There's the awake, there's the sleep. And he goes, no. There's people that are awake. People, or he goes, no, you're right. There is two types of people, but that's not the types of people. There's people that are unconscious, don't even know that they don't know. And there's people that are sometimes awake. People that know that they go back and forth. Okay. And so what he meant by that, and what I figured out, is this quest to figure out what we are. So I went on this quest, figure out what I am, because I'm not an addict. I knew that. I was like, man, I'm not an addict, and I'm not a baseball player, and I'm not a high school student anymore, and I'm not a college student, and I'm not a truck driver, and I'm not a contractor. So I was 40 years old at the time, and I was left with being nothing, kind of like figured out that I don't have anything. We say like, so I had to figure out what I am. I'm trying to figure out what I am. I'm trying to figure out, what does it mean? What am I? See, anything we ever say, if you say I am, anything you say after I am is you trying to look good. Anything. I don't care what you say. No matter what people say after I am, it's their way of looking good. It's their way of saying, this is where I fit. This is how I fit. This is where I fit in. This is what I am. And what I am makes me something. And so if I say I am a accountant, well, that person really thinks that makes them look like something. It really makes them think, well, there's something, and everyone's trying to be something. Everyone's trying to fit in. Everyone's trying to be. So I didn't have an I am. I was left with this thing, and Bob taught me, and Eckhart Tolle taught me, and what it really boiled down to was what I am, what I am. I'm just awareness, just truly what I am. If you can, everything else you can take away. I can take away my arms. I can take away my legs. I can take away my job. I can take away my history. I can take away my friends. I can take away my career. I can take away my money. I can take away my car. I can take away my hair. I can take away everything. But the only thing you can't take away, the only thing that will eliminate you, is if you take away awareness. So that's the only thing that will eliminate you, is taking away awareness. We can take everything out of this room, but what's left and what we are, it's just this awareness. So we do these things, is that we're sitting here all trying to connect. We're trying to figure out what connection is, and we're trying to connect with each other. We're trying to find love. We're trying to do these things. But the bottom line is there's something in the way. So what a connection is awareness. So it's your awareness connecting with my awareness. We're here. Presence, awareness. And so I got it pretty much figured out that I'm awareness. But like Bob said, we forget. And so we go to the I ams. And so we spend our time in suffering, and all the suffering is in the I ams. I am a contractor, and because I'm a contractor, I have problems that a contractor has. And all my problems develop around this being a contractor. I am a husband, and then all my problems develop upon what it means to be a husband. And am I doing it right? And I'm a student, and then my problems develop around the I am. And the problems all develop around the I am. And you see, but when you leave it and say I am awareness, there is no problems. Your problems go away. So the solution, the answer to what we're all doing, and the answer to all of my problems, is to be awareness, to solve it right away. I'm not that. And so it really becomes not I ams anymore, because what I'm not. And almost everything that we can say, we're not. You can say, I'm not that, and I'm not that, and I'm not that. I'm actually not a contractor. You can't say I am a contractor. You're not that. You can't say I'm an addict. You're not that. You're the awareness. You're the thing. You can't say I am a dyslexic, or you can't say I am an OCD. My parents, they always say I am an enabler. No, you're awareness that you do enabling. You're the awareness of it. We're kind of this historian of ourselves. And so the bottom line is that there's no suffering in awareness. It's where the peace lies. It's where it all is. Now, there's a big problem. Last week, I went over what I see in these two types of people. And I said, there's these two types of people. There's this type of person that keeps their complaints to themselves, that complains, and then they go home and they talk to their husband about the complaints, and they say what's wrong with society, or what's wrong with their social network, or what's wrong with their boss, and they keep it to themselves. And then there's another group of people that take their complaints and they blast them to everyone. And those type of people over here that blast them to everyone, they seem to think they're honest. They think they're the honest ones because they bitch all the time and let everyone know they're bitching. And then over here, you got the people over here that keep their complaints to their husband, and they go to their social dinner, and then they go home and talk about everybody behind their back. Now, those people are dangerous. And I said, they are dangerous. They're dangerous that they keep those to themselves. They're dangerous and dishonest. And these people are dangerous too, because they'll hurt people. Because when they believe in something and they think they stand for something and they say what they are, they then will crucify anyone that's not them. And so I said that the goal for me in my recovery, the goal was to get to a place where I take my complaints and I explore through my complaints. I don't keep them to myself. I don't blast them to everyone. But what I do is I bring them and use them as a learning tool. I learn about myself through my complaints, and I learn about others through my complaints. And I work my relationships through my complaints. The only way to improve a relationship is if I say, I have a complaint about you, and I take it to you. And I say, me and you, we're going to go and we're going to work this out, and we're going to understand each other, and we're going to connect, and we're going to bond over this complaint, the one that you have about me. But see, that's a resentment. A complaint is a resentment. So now what happens in a resentment is that our awareness is trapped. So we can no longer connect. So the deepest form of trap, the deepest form of disconnect is resentment. That's the deepest form you can go. Because if you're in resentment, you're just trapped. You cannot connect with a person. You cannot connect with that person that you resent. You cannot do well at your job. You cannot do well in society because you're trapped. Because you're right, they're wrong, and you're trapped in there and you want to be right. So there's other forms of things that take our awareness. There's worry. There's anxiety. There's the past. There is memories that trap our awareness. So to actually get this, and I say to these guys recently over and over, I say, right before we discover, right before we learn that people are high, there's one thing that ties in. Every single person that gets high that's in our program and relapses is also full of shit. They're also 100% full of shit. And what that means, I had to look at what that meant. What that means to be full of shit is not what you think. What it means is my awareness is trapped with something. My awareness is trapped in a complaint. My awareness is trapped thinking about drugs. My awareness is trapped thinking about my past. My awareness is trapped thinking about my worries or my anxiety. And I'm full of shit because I act like it's not. I'm full of shit because I'm not willing to tell the truth about that. I'm not willing to say, this is what I'm aware of right now. So now I'm in a room with people feeling disconnected, and I'm not connecting because my awareness cannot connect because my awareness is obsessed or trapped on something. And so to be truthful means to discuss what I am aware of. To discuss what I am aware of about you, to discuss what I am aware of about our relationship, to discuss what I'm aware of about my complaints, to discuss what I'm aware of about my worries, to discuss it truthfully. Now, this is tough because this takes you not being right. This takes you being humbled by it. It says, listen, I know one thing. Happiness is free awareness. Happiness is when my awareness is free to touch what is happening out here right now. And by the way, that's why I use drugs. Because my awareness is trapped. It's trapped on resentment, worry, anxiety, fears, past, future, whatever it's trapped on. And as soon as I do drugs, my awareness is released, and my awareness is me. So basically, I am released and freed by drugs. And now I have to find a way, as soon as I commit to not using drugs, or as soon as I commit to happiness in my own life. This isn't for just people that are on drugs. This isn't for people that are going to get off drugs. This is for everyone. And the truth is, we just have to admit one thing. Happiness is free awareness. That's it. It's not anything else. It's when my awareness is not trapped, when I'm not focused on something negative, when I'm not focused on something positive, when I'm not trapped. Sometimes my awareness is trapped on something that I need to have that's positive, but I can't be happy because my awareness is trapped on that. So this doesn't matter. So it's this thing that we do to get truthful, means to tell and talk about with everyone in my life all the time. And you know, the other thing that really offends me is people that keep, and last week I did a thing and I said, which one are you? Are you the people that voice your complaints out loud, or are you the people that go home and talk shit? And you know, none of them were on last week. It was nobody. Nobody admitted to that. Now, that's very telling. Nobody came up and go, you know what? I do that and I need to change. I go to social events. I go meet art. I go to places. I go to my job, and I never tell my job my complaints, but I go home and I complain to my wife about my job every day, and I do that, and I need to learn not to do that. Nobody said that. Nobody said, hey, I'm the person who's always standing. Okay. Nobody said nothing. We're talking about somebody else. But the reality is, I'm talking about you. Which one are you? Or are you down to be the person that's going to explore your complaints? Are you going to mention them? Are you going to be really, really humbled by them? And when I say mention your complaints, I didn't say complain. I didn't say complain, because those are the people that just complain. I said mention your complaints as if it's a possibility that you might be wrong. Explore it as a possibility that I have this about you that I think, and I'm not blaming you for it, and I'm not going to tell you that it's true, but I'm going to mention it just in case I might get straightened out. Because it could straighten me out if I just tell you it, and then maybe I'm wrong, and I'm hoping that I'm wrong. I'm actually hoping that I'm wrong. I'm hoping that you didn't mean to hurt me. I'm hoping you didn't mean to do something. I'm just letting you know. I just didn't want to be straightened out, so I'm going to say it. I'm having these thoughts about you that maybe you're up to something, and I just need to be straightened out, and can we just get it straight? And when you did that to me last week, or you drove by me in the car and you didn't look at me, and you just went on, and then you go, hey, do you not like me, or I just want to get straightened out? And the guy goes, no, I didn't see you, dude. But you just spent the week thinking, why didn't your neighbor look at you, or what the fuck's wrong with him, or whatever the deal is, right? And so it's this, but then you just go in your house and you just talk to your wife, oh, our neighbor's so screwed up. Our neighbor's such an asshole. You didn't give him a chance. And so what I'm trying to get at tonight is different than I got out last week, which is a lot what I'm getting out last week. But tonight I'm talking about what we are. And I'm talking about we're awareness, pure and simple. And I'm talking about remembering that. And I'm talking about the fact that that's where that's the place of home. When you're home and when you're happy, you're just awareness. You're aware of your surroundings. You're aware of the people you're with. You're aware of the smells in the room, the sounds in the room. You're aware of everybody's cues and the socialness of what everybody's doing. Are they picking up what you're putting down? Are they there? And then there's people that just don't know about this. And so what those people are doing, the people that are unconscious, the people that are unaware, the sleep, those people are playing like this is all real. They're living their life out that they are the character that they're playing. They're living their life out that everything's real, that everything's so important, you know? And sometimes somebody has something happen to them when they're 13 and their awareness is trapped by that thing and they still let loose. So they're 40 years old, still aware of what happened when they were 13, still stuck back there. That's suffering. Trapped awareness is suffering. Free awareness is happiness. Not money. Money's good. It helps a lot. Money's good, but it's not happiness. It's just this, because a lot of people right now have money, but they have trapped awareness. And their awareness is trapped with resentment and worry and anxiety, and it doesn't solve trapped awareness. It just sucks you in. And so really to be truthful means that. To not be full of shit means I'm riding in a car with you right now and my awareness is stuck on what you did to me. And resentment is the deepest. And I see people try to go on with relationships when there's resentment. And I go, hey, why do you not get along with your wife or your son or your daughter? Or why don't you get along? And they go, well, they did that to me 5 years ago. And I think to myself, why are you trying to move on without talking about that? Why are you being so dishonest? Why would you try to just go on as if the relationship didn't have that to it? Because it does. And so now you're in a car. It's like owing people money. Do you ever want to sit with somebody you owe money to? You can't move on until you pay them. You can't even have a relationship. People try to move on. No, you can't do that. When you owe people money, you're going to be stuck. Your awareness is going to be stuck. Every time you're with them, it's going to be stuck on that. Unless, of course, you're an asshole. Then it might not. But any norm, you know. And so what we're doing To not be full of shit truly means that, and it has to mean that. It has to mean that I will unload everything in here, that I will tell you what my awareness is trapped in. And I'm going to tell it to you with the hopes not of anything happening. I'm not trying to make progress in the relationship. I'm not trying to fix anything. I'm trying to get untrapped. That's it. So I talk not to fix nothing, not to make you do differently than you did before. No other outcome am I expecting. I just know one thing: trapped, unhappy. Get out of the trap, happy. I'm free. Now my awareness is free. I'm free to play again. We weren't trapped awareness when we were kids. We were playing. We didn't sit there with our 8 years old. We weren't sitting there on the playground like this, thinking about what happened when we were 7. We weren't sitting there on the playground worrying about what happens when we're 9. What's happened? So if you begin to,
When you free awareness, it's actually free. It's freedom.
That's freedom. Free awareness is freedom. And so for me, everyone, and I'm tired of the people that don't release their thoughts, that don't say their complaints. I'm tired of the ones that don't do it to me. I guess really sometimes I'm hard to talk to. I don't know what the excuse is, but I always hear about the complaints about me later from someone else, and I'm tired of that, because those people that complain about me and then I hear it from those people think they're the good people. See, what people are doing by not saying their complaints is they're calling themselves nice, but you're really just a coward. You're just a coward. You ain't nice. Doesn't make you nice to not tell the person that you're complaining about them, but because you want to spare their feelings. You're just a coward. So let's get off that cover up. You're just scared to say it. Oh, I'm a non-confrontational person. I know you're an asshole. Non-confrontational people are assholes too. They're just a different kind of asshole. That's all there is to it. They're a different, superior, smug asshole. So somebody that says they're non-confrontational is just saying I'm better than everyone that's confrontational, which makes me better than everyone, which makes me more superior the way I behave, when it really just boils down to you're scared. You want to confront people, you just don't got the balls. Now let's see you actually gain the balls to confront people and have them stay around and like you. That's tough. That's tough because it takes a lot. It takes a lot of learning, and it takes a lot of looking at yourself, because when you begin to confront things, you better have your life in order. You better have things sorted out, because people, if you begin to confront their inadequacies, or you begin to talk about maybe some things you'd like them to improve or some things you'd like to be different, as soon as you do that, they're going to look at you and find out whatever you need to improve. And that's tough. And people are scared, and that's why they're scared. They're scared because their affairs aren't in order. And they're worried if they say something to somebody else, that person's going to dig holes in their game. And so you get your affairs in order and you work on you, you might be able to confront some things. But that doesn't make us say now confrontation. Even that when I said complaining doesn't mean complaining, but confrontation doesn't mean confrontation. Confrontation means dealing with it. It doesn't mean accusing. It doesn't mean saying you did this and I need to confront you on it. It means, hey, let me see why you did what you did. Let me ask you. Did you mean to screw me over? Did you mean to do something? I'm just looking out. Maybe I fucked up. Maybe I'm the problem. Let me look. There's a possibility, and you explore all of it. And now rebuild, recovery. What does it mean, rebuild? It means we get down to nothing. It means you come here and you learn that you're awareness. That's it. Deal with that. You're not an addict. You're not a heroin junkie. You're not a loser. You're not a roofer anymore, or a window installer, or a painter, or anything. You're none of those things. So you get down to the bare bones of what you are, and you figure out what it means to be awake. It means spending as much time as awareness, aware of yourself rather than being yourself. Awareness, to be pure awareness. When you say it, right now, I'm aware that I'm aware. It's the highest level of anything, to be aware that you're aware. Try to stay there. You can't. You cannot stay aware that you're aware. It's like trying to stand on a pinhead. You'll fall off quickly. And so to be aware that you're aware, to be conscious, that's the highest thing to be. You can't be anything higher than consciousness. So that's what we are. We are that. We are this pure awareness, this historian of ourselves. But you're going to forget. And you're going to go back to being this character, going back to being this thing that you're running from. And you're going to run from it. And you're going to want to do drugs because you don't want to be the character. But the answer to not doing drugs is to be awareness again. Here I am. I'm not that. I'm not my problems. I'm not my identity. I'm none of those things. That's not even me. They're talking about me, but they're talking about my character. They're not talking about my awareness. And so you can get there. You can get right there for a little while throughout the day. That's it. That's the best. You don't live there. You get there. Then you forget, and then you remember, then you forget, and then you remember. But what you can do is you can see why you're not there. You can look and say, why am I not living as pure awareness right now? Ooh, my awareness is trapped on my phone. My awareness is trapped with this problem. My awareness is trapped with this resentment. My awareness is trapped with this obsession. My awareness is trapped with resentment. My awareness is trapped with anger. My awareness is trapped with whatever. And when I say my, I mean it's me trapped. I'm trapped. I'm awareness, so therefore I am trapped. And when there's nothing and you clear it all out, what do we rebuild with? What is the truth about what we want to rebuild with? Well, you rebuild with things that matter. What you really I am. Like I am honest. I am faithful. I am a person of integrity. I am my word. Values. So we replace all that identity shit with these values. That's rebuilding, starting over. So where do I start my recovery? How do I recover? There it is. I get down to the bareness of being aware. Take that breath, forget all that other shit, sit here with it, and then build on the things that matter. I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to say what I'm thinking. I'm going to get it off. I'm going to not sit there with a person in the car and have these bad thoughts about them and not mention to them so I can get it cleared up. But rather, but what people do, they keep those negative thoughts about the person, sit there in the car with them because it feels good. It feels righteous. And they do that because they want to feel righteous. They want to feel like they're better. I don't want to feel that anymore. I want to feel connection. But I cannot connect with my awareness being trapped. So I have to talk it out. And as we talk it out and as we say it, the trap lets go. All you have to do is say it. And the trap lets go. Hey, this is what I'm stuck thinking about. Notice, it never gets solved. We just get it out. It doesn't get solved. We talk to people and it doesn't get solved, but we feel better. We just say, this is what I'm trapped in. And this is and it doesn't get solved. People don't change. I say, hey, yesterday when you said that, you really pissed me off. And I've been thinking about it ever since. And then he goes, oh, I didn't mean it. Freedom. Freedom. Then sometimes the guy might go, yeah, I did mean it. Fuck you. And then you go, oh, shit. Okay, well, fuck you too. But you're still not trapped. You're free, right? So the goal is not to fix anything. The goal is freedom always. And I understand. What you got going there, Trav?
She texted me.
Oh. See, he's trapped me. I had to tell him. My awareness is taken. That's true. You see? See, it's like that. There, I took your awareness. I took you.
Chris Bartoy is here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a long time ago. I was letting him know that he was here.
He's been looking at his phone for a half hour, so he's so full of shit.
Yeah,
He's so full of shit. He's been staring at his phone for a half hour. And now he says he's been just looking at what
before the meeting started.
Yeah.
No service in the basement.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chris Bartoy.
So I just want to make it, I just want to do a quick recap and open up. And I want to say, I think that there's some people on here that might keep their complaints to themselves about people, and they might be calling themselves like good people for doing it. And I'm calling that out and saying that that's cowardly. And I'm saying it might be an excuse. It might be an alibi to not have to deal with things. And for those people, I say, hey, step up. See, I was one of the other people. I was a person that just complained all the time and let everyone know how shitty I felt about them and but I actually had to go a different way. I had to stop being like that. I had to start maybe keeping some shit to myself. I had to get a little better about that. And then I had to wait, because if I didn't keep it to myself, normally the complaints that I had about people, they were just me being righteous. So I had to kind of explore those, because a lot of the times, and as I began to explore those things, I have less and less complaints about people. I think they're further along than I used to think they were. And I think they know more than I used to think they did, than I thought they did. So I've learned actually how to kind of restrain it by not being boisterous about my complaints about everybody and saying what's wrong with everybody all the time. And I had to explore that. But I've never been a person that went home and then didn't tell you what I felt about you. I've always been too far on the other side. So maybe, but each one has to level out. And so we learn recovery, we learn to rebuild, and we learn what we're doing here, and we learn it by not being full of shit. And being full of shit means I don't say what I'm thinking, and then I say it to other people. And I don't tell you what I'm really going to do. I surprise you. I've been surprised recently by a lot of people that were full of shit, like weeks of I'm going to do this, and then don't do that. Just something totally off, crazy shit. And it's weird. It's weird. It feels like the rug's pulled out from under you. False motivations and people setting you up. And then you realize you have to actually listen to everything they say, because what they're saying, they're setting you up. They're not going to tell you how. And so you have to replay the conversation later and go, what the hell did they mean when they say that? Because I know they don't mean that when they say that. And I got to watch out for this person. And I see that here. So that's what we're doing, rebuild. I say, how do you rebuild? How do you get down to basic awareness, be nothing again, not have anything that I am, and then actually rebuild through these values. I'm awareness, and I'm aware if I'm being honest. I'm aware if I'm being truthful. I'm aware if I have integrity. Now, what I haven't also said is that every time we break our values as people, when we go against our core values as people, we trap our awareness. We trap it. So when we lie, we think about how we lied for weeks, months, years. When we break our integrity and we don't do what we say we're going to do, we think about that for weeks, months, years. So that traps our awareness. So restoration of our integrity and our values frees our awareness. It has to be done. Has to be done. I see people coming and they start their recovery and they don't start it with honesty. Well, then you're not starting your recovery. If you're not letting it all out there and telling people the conditions and the circumstances and all of the facts of your life currently and getting honest with it, then your awareness is still trapped, because you're going to be in a room with those people and you're going to be thinking about those problems. And you're not saying anything about those problems, so you're not connecting with anybody, so you're not recovering, because you're not connecting, because recovery is connection. It's feeling that love again of presence, being with people, and community, and feeling that. But if you keeping your problems to yourself, well, you're keeping your connection to yourself. You're not allowing for it. So rebuild means rebuild with values. Awareness plus values. No identity. No I ams. Now, if you want to rebuild with your I ams so you can call your family and tell them what you are, well, that's going to fail. It was a failed system from the start. So I am this, therefore now I'm doing good. No, you're not. Dad, look, I have a car. I am a car driver. I am a bank account owner. I am this. Therefore, I'm now doing great. No, those things will fail, and you'll lose those things. So awareness plus values, to me, free awareness and values is how we recover. It's how we be. How do we be with ourselves? Well, we be with ourselves because that's it. That's all I have here. I have awareness and here, and if I have a problem, I'm going to let you know so you can deal with it and I can get it out. Anyways.
We already have people on. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Let's open it up.
We already have people in line, which is great. So let me tell everybody, this is how you raise your hand. You can see Riley has raised his hand. There's a raise your hand feature on your device where you can raise your hand and get in line. If there's any questions, any comments, anything, we want to hear from you. If you cannot figure out the raise your hands on your device, then you can just unmute yourself, wave your arms and wait for me to see you. And that will work as well. but let's get to Riley. Can we get you?
We got to tell Riley first. We don't mind. We don't mind Riley's not wearing a shirt.
Oh, we can't.
We don't mind. Us men, we don't mind he's not wearing a shirt. We mind that he looks good if he does not wear a shirt.
They're weird.
That's
weird.
the problem.
I had to mute Riley because we have some kind of weird feedback with him. What did you say, Art? We couldn't hear any of that. You sounded like a robot.
Okay, Riley's playing his audio through a different device, Travis says. So he's gonna have a problem.
Yeah, Zoom can't catch it.
Yeah, he fixed it. So then the first thing, what I said was, all of us men here do not mind that Riley's not wearing a shirt. We just mind that he looks as good as he does not wearing a shirt. And that's the problem. We don't want the women looking at him. Yeah. We want to block his. Yeah.
Let's try the unmute thing again. Okay, Riley, let's try it.
What's up? Is it working now?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. Say what's up, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
So I wanted to hop on last week and like just tune in because I thought it was so coincidental. He was talking about the complaining, or Art. Yeah, you were talking about the complaining, and then it's weird because I'm talking and all I see is Angie's face like frozen. So so you were talking about the complaining, and like the whole 2 weeks before that, I was in this big deal, probably longer than that actually. For like months, I had found myself just complaining. But I thought like I was being the guy that was being like confrontational and trying to solve the problem and everything like that. And then I kind of just like looked into it a little deeper. I was like, okay, maybe like half the time I am, and then the other half the time I'm just bitching and I'm righteous and I'm just always right. It was stemmed from like work, and I got into this thing, but yeah, I kind of like resentments and stuff too. But I wanted to hop in, and then I'm thinking to myself, like, I guess I was in like trapped awareness. I'm thinking like what other people are gonna think, or like thinking I'm complaining for, I don't know. But yeah, that was awesome what you said, because the day after we had the meeting, I went to work and I was like talking to my assistant, and I was just like telling him about the whole meeting because me and him had been struggling with that, and we found it helpful, and talking to Sabrina about it and everything, because it was, yeah, like brought some awareness to me, because I was just going through some weird stuff at work. But you said something else. You said like I am, like a roofer, a window installer, and it got me thinking maybe I could help some new guys out that are in recovery or whatever, and have like, I don't care, like 30 days or anything. If anybody needs a job out there, I'm a lead at a window and door company. So if anybody needs a job, you can get my number from Angie and contact me or whatever. But quick question, Art, how do you know that you're not just bitching, and that like, because I try to approach like my supervisors or my boss and stuff. How do I know that I'm not just trying to be in the right? Like, what is the key thing to look for and to be aware of?
How you feel?
Like if I'm angry about it?
Yeah, well, how you feel? I mean, we get built up, and you can kind of, as soon as the complaint shows up, what I recommend and is an instant stopping, taking a breath, and then saying, what do I want? And as soon as you say, what do I want? Like if you're in it and you just want to bitch and complain, you don't even want the solution. It won't even, and if somebody gives you the solution, you'll tell them, no, shut up. Because, like somebody will go, well, you should just go talk to your boss. And then you go, well, you should shut up, because what I want to do right now. And that's how you know if you're in pain or not. Because see, the complaining comes from pain. It's a real painful process. You're in pain. You're tired. You're dominated. You're feeling, powerless. And the complaining comes as a relief system. It comes to do that. And so sometimes we have to do it. We have to get it out. If you, and the goal becomes, if you make the goal different, if you can just say one thing, I'm not on to solutions yet. I don't know what I want out there in the world, but I'm trapped or I'm not trapped. Leave it there. Just say, I'm trapped or I'm not trapped. I can't stop thinking about this, or I'm free. And once you get there, then you'll say, okay, I'm trapped. My awareness is trapped. I just want to vent, 1, or I want to go solve something, 2. And sometimes, venting and punching people in the face, they do the same thing. They feel good, like it's better than being trapped. Really, if you're having a complaint and you're around your boss and you're trapped with it, and you walk right up to him and punch him in the face, I guarantee you're going to feel better that night. Now, it might not be the best way to solve it, but you'll feel humbled, you'll feel free, and you'll feel apologetic, and you won't feel righteous. So as soon as the righteousness goes away, solutions will appear. So you have to get the righteousness out of it. And if there's righteousness in there, it's because of the pain. Righteousness solves our pain. And so you just look and you stop and you say, okay, there's a lot of righteousness, what I'm saying. Or you say, or if it's not bitching and complaining, then it'll be something like this. Okay, we have a big problem at work. Now I'm going to get out a piece of paper and find some solution. You see, it'll be factual. So how you feel is the determining factor. If you feel anger, resentment, pain, all that, you will feel righteousness next. So I know when I'm in problem solving mode and I know when I'm in venting mode. They're 2 different modes. I wake up in problem solving mode. I go to bed. When I'm tired, I'm in venting mode.
Okay.
You'll watch when you wake up. You might vent all night, tell your wife you can't even sleep. You just tell Sabrina, you just go off and tell her every problem that you got, and you keep it off, and then you wake up in the morning. You're like, what the hell just happened? I don't even feel close to the same way. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Makes sense.
That inside feeling is how you know. I got really aware of how I felt inside when I was talking. And when I felt against people, usually that was when I'm just, against. Against is always the word. I feel against. Nobody's with me. Everybody's against me. Then I want to be righteous.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know because I spend my weeks alternating in and out of these places.
Yeah. Thanks, Art.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys. Always good hearing your feedback, guys. Thanks. All right, who's next? So again, any comments, suggestions, anybody needing a coaching moment tonight too, you're welcome. Pipe up. This is your opportunity. We have a good half an hour here and want to continue the conversation and get everybody's feedback. Anybody going through it, all of it's welcome.
There's somebody right now on here that's trapped. Their awareness is trapped, and it's been trapped all day, and either they know it or they don't know it. Worse if you don't know it, but if you might think, if I'm letting you know that your awareness is trapped, and what that means is there's one thing you're fixated on, or there's several things you're fixated on. You can't let it go, and it makes it so you can't enjoy cooking a meal, and it makes it so you can't enjoy working on a car, and it makes it so you can't enjoy your work, and it makes it so you can't enjoy anything. Somebody's trapped on here, and their goal isn't that. What's telling is they're not raising their hand trying to get untrapped. So what that tells me is they like being right. They like being in the way that they're being. They like being stuck there because it makes them feel right. It makes them feel superior, and it kind of gets them high. And so, if you're trapped, really easy. Let's get you out.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is just talk about it. Simple.
I see the thumbs ups. I love it. Jason, would love to invite you to, would love to welcome you to your first solution group. And I'd love to invite you to just, if you want to discuss, I just got your text during the group, and we could certainly get Art's feedback right here for you. So are you good?
Sure.
Okay,
sure,
awesome. So Art, just the text that I just got. So Jason, one of the things that Jason had just said was being done has no teeth if they absolutely refuse to go.
Sure.
That's all I can skim real quickly. But if you want to give him what concerns right now, he's in the fire right now. We met Jason and his wife yesterday. And
Wow, seems like a long time ago. So my name is Jason Stiplizio, everybody. Nice to meet you. My wife, Abby, can't be here tonight. She took my daughter on a trip. Yeah, I mean, Art, first of all, your message about staying in awareness and being sucked into the vortex of all of these conflicting emotions really resonates with me. But right now, everybody, what I'm contending with and my wife's contending with is my son, who's 18, who's in the room next door. And I've been playing this so he can hear, and I invited him to join me. His name's Gabe. He has a physical addiction, according to him. He's just addicted to Percocet, smoking it. And when we came home last night after talking to Art and Angie for a while, he was very high. He refuses to admit that he's high. Actually was asked to leave from his first day of work because he was nodding off at work. He was very tired. So when trying to follow the message that Art and Angie gave yesterday, which was, you know, we love you. We're 100% doing everything we can to get you into treatment to save your life. And also, but we're done with the addiction. We're done with supporting you in any way except for getting you into treatment to save your life. The done aspect of it, you know, like what I hear again, and I heard it tonight, I heard it last night, I heard it this morning, was like, I'm not addicted. I don't have a problem. You can't do anything about it. I refuse to go to treatment. You can't make me go to treatment. You can't force me. I refuse to admit myself. And Art, you brought this up yesterday. If you keep putting this pressure on me, I'm going to kill myself, and you're not invited to my funeral. And so we hear this message a lot, and we try to, so when we're working with our changes group, the message is when you're not in this home, if you're in this home and you're high, you have to leave. That's one of our family rules. But we're pivoting to say the most important thing for you to do is not to leave, is not to be out there, not to go to work. The only thing we're focusing on right now is your recovery and your rebuilding and getting you into treatment. But it's absolutely refusal to go and to acknowledge it, to say he doesn't have a problem. He's high because he's smoking CBD, whatever. So that's where we're at right now. And what I meant by not having any teeth, because so many times we're used to having a lever pull, right? Like, if you don't do this, this is the consequence. But now it's like, if you must go to treatment, and for all of these great reasons. And Angie, I used all your talking points, and they were powerful. They resonated with me and my wife, but they didn't resonate with him. And so now I've like the power thing is like, where do we go from here? Like, we can't compel him.
Well, first of all, Jason, I never said that. What I said was, we're not going to give being out on the streets as an option. And we're not going to say that right away. We're not going to say that. I said, one, you're not going to be in this house and use drugs. And two, I need you to go, and two, I need you to go to treatment. Now, there's the third option. You're just not mentioning it.
Okay.
I mean, there has to be, right? So
yeah.
One, the fact is you're not going to be in this house using drugs. Two, you're going to treatment. Now, there's a third option that he can come up with on his own there. He has to figure that out, but that'll be his choice. And that, prior to meeting me, what you guys were focusing on was his getting out of the house. And I'm saying it's treatment but you're not really having to, of course, what is the conclusion if I can't do drugs in this house and I won't go to treatment? What conclusion do you come to?
Yeah, 100%.
He's got to go. He's got to go.
He's got to go.
So you can never, like I said, you can never lose that. I was just suggesting that, I would say that is just something that you're not going to accept either. So when it boils down to, one, I'm not going to let you use drugs in this house, and two, I won't accept that you're homeless using drugs, which is a place I like all parents to get.
Yeah.
I don't like them to that other option because I don't like that either. So that's a powerful place. One, you're not going to use drugs in my home, and two, you're going to treatment. That leaves nothing. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So now if you come to those two conclusions, that he's not going to use drugs in your home and he's not going to go to treatment, and he's going to go to treatment, Well, you're left with right now, he's in there in that room using drugs in your home. So now we have a big problem because you have to change right now. So you are powerless. You're absolutely right. And the only way, and you have to get down with this, that him going to treatment, when you get down with this fact, that him going to treatment is really just a result of your power.
Right.
That is it. There is no other facts. There's nothing else. And I want you to know this. Him going to treatment is a result of you. And I want everyone to understand that, because if you don't think that way, then all you're left with is him going to treatment is what? Is luck, is a maybe, is when he's ready, is him going to treatment is a choice he's going to make. All that's bullshit. Because the truth is, him going to treatment is a result of you. So what you need to do is stay in strategy. Now, what you get to, what's going to happen is you're going to employ a strategy. That strategy is going to fail. When that strategy fails, you're going to want to complain. You're going to want to complain because you're dominated and you feel powerless. And when you complain, you're going to want to get righteous. You're going to want to say, he's the problem. Now, the important part of the work that you're doing right now, because I do it every day, I get with people like this and I get in these situations. The important part of work is to get back in strategy right now. What can you do? What can you do? Okay, listen, you're in my home. We're going to prove if you're using drugs or not. Art, do you have a UA? I'm going to make him pee in a cup. Okay, son, you say you're not using drugs and you're denying your habit. Well, clearly you can pass this UA that I'm about to give you. Oh, you don't want to take a UA. Okay, why? You see what I'm saying here? There's always an answer. There's always an answer if you keep working the problem. You stay calm, you keep working the problem, we will get there. When I told you yesterday, as I said, from this day forward, the problem that you're having with your son is just going to continue to get better and not worse. This is how. Because we don't allow for anything. Yeah.
If I can just, so we've given him those options in the past. I have a box of like 50 UAs in there, right? But policing him, finding like, I don't know, like how he gets his urine, how he cheats the urine test. You know, I took him to get blood tests at a separate place. He's gone to Suboxone clinics. All of that is just ridiculous amount of policing. And so what we've done right now is like, he spent the last 3 out of 7 nights elsewhere because he's using, right? So he's not choosing treatment. He's choosing sleeping on the sidewalk, sleeping in the park, going to his friend's house. What's that?
You're going to have to let him do that because seriously, you say he can't use drugs in this house
and he
disagrees.
Yeah. We don't accept it. We tell him to get out. We said, you're high, go stay elsewhere. But we also say what you taught us yesterday, which is like your number one things are treatment. We got your bags packed. We'll take you right now.
Listen.
Refusal.
Jason, I want you to know that you're in the heat of the heat. You're in the eye of the storm right now. This is as thick as it gets. It does really not get worse than this as a parent fighting the addiction. But what you have to do is just stay with me here. Right now, whenever a drug addict says they're not using drugs, it is absolutely mandatory to get a UA. There's no other next move. We can't move forward without that UA because otherwise we're living in a dreamland where he's right, we're just on his thing. So it's like, cool, you're not using drugs. Let me see your pecker. Put it. I want to grab it, and I'm going to make sure that the pee. Now, don't let him touch the cup ever, because you can contaminate the cup. So you grab the pecker. You let the pee go out through. You can feel it squirting through it. You can feel it going through it. Now, it goes into the cup, and you don't let him touch the cup, and then you check the pee. That's how you do a UA.
Okay.
There's no other way.
True.
And that's. And that's what we do here. I have a group of managers that love this process. They actually just took the job just so they could do it. Kyle Munkers is the king of this. He knows everybody's Pecker intimately, and this is what he does for a living. So yeah, we don't let people do
I have to
any
back
type
my
of weird.
hand.
Yeah.
I'd like to back your hand. All right. So I'll lean into that more with the
Okay, and just
pee in this
know
cup. We have
and
those
just
tests.
whenever you get to a point where you want to talk about the problem in any kind of way other than what is the next thing that you need to do. So I want you to hear that again. Whenever you feel the need to ruminate, to explain, to vent, and to talk about the problem in some aspect of what he's doing and explaining to any of us or to anyone what he's doing and what he does. Anytime you're in that mode, stop yourself, because nothing happens in that mode.
Yeah.
100% nothing happens except you vent and feel better. And so if you just breathe like you do, and get your meditation on and relax and wait for it, the next move will show up for you.
Right.
And it'll be a move that is directed towards getting to the truth and getting him to treatment. And you'll just follow that process. But it's dominating. I feel for you. You're in the thick of it. It's almost maybe one of the most high pressure situations that a parent could be in my opinion. And that you're going to need to vent. You're going to need to complain and say what he's doing just to get it out. But then get right back to strategy and figure out your next move.
Okay. Thank you.
That's it every time. Okay.
That's so good. Thanks, Jason, for being willing to get on the court like that, because that's so helpful for everybody. And I can tell you there's so many families on here that have been right where you're at. But everybody's thumbs upping. You can't see them all, but they are families that have been with us for a couple years, whatever. And there's, they've been there, so they get it. And we'll get there.
I also want to say, I have seen thousands of times people utter the words, "I'm never going to treatment," minutes before they end up in treatment.
Yes.
That's right.
I'm literally saying minutes. I'm
That's
never
right.
going to treatment. I will never go to treatment. You'll never allow me. And 5 minutes later, they're in the car to go to treatment.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
I'm kind of waiting for whatever the right causes and conditions that need to be present in that moment for him to say, all right, let's go.
well, you're always going to need in your back. The streets have always got to be an option, and an option that you're willing to put them on. Because if that's not an option, you've got a tyrant in your hands. You'll just have a tyrant there. Yeah.
I mean, I have a 16-year-old daughter, right? And we have to protect what I call the sanctity of our home, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
She requires that from us as her parents, and it's hard to provide her that.
Yeah, and let me clarify, that doesn't mean driving him to a friend's house, though.
No.
Yeah,
No,
it doesn't mean
never.
that. That means him going, I just
There's
want
the
to
door. There's the door.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah, Cam, what did you have?
Oh, and one other thing these guys are saying, Jason, as your UAs, they're not going to test for fentanyl, and is what they're doing. So you're going to need to order on Amazon some fentanyl strips, or come grab some from me.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know what, Jason? I can send you the link of the ones that we order, or you can come down. I just know that's a distance for you. So you can come down and grab some at the house, at the same place you came to. You can do that, or I can send you a link and you can order some. But that's a great point, because fentanyl is different strips.
Yeah, please. Yeah, send me what you have.
Okay.
And I'll order on Amazon.
Jason, this is Cam. He's going to give you, Cam's been with us about 7 months sober, and he's going to tell you a little something.
So, hi, Jason. I'm Cameron. One huge aspect of my whole sobriety was the fact that I've done exactly what your kid did. I'm not high. I'm not using in your house. I took advantage of every situation that was out there. And I just want to let you know that the breaking point for me was when there was nowhere else to turn. I was already living on the streets, and my whole family had completely given up on me. Everybody had given up on me. And I believe that in order for your son to get to that point, it's hard to say, but I think that's probably what it's going to have to come down to is maybe not giving up on him completely, but letting him know that you're not going to allow him to do the things that he's doing at all. And the only resort to that is for him to go to the streets. There is no more even sleeping in the house.
Yeah.
Or allowing him to go to his friend's house or anything. It has to be completely to the point where you don't want anything to do with him anymore, or his mom doesn't want anything to do with him anymore until he can get into treatment. And if he can't get into treatment, then his bags need to be packed and his ass needs to hit the streets. and to be honest with you, that scare factor at 18 years old, it comes into reality really quick. And for me, I've been an addict for 15 years, and my parents had stuck with me for those years, and I'd been able to manipulate them and do those kinds of things. But when it really came down to it, and I knew that I was going to lose them and lose my daughter and lose everybody, is when the switch flipped for me.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Thank you for sharing. Thank you.
And I just have to note that Cam's brother happens to my house. My house. Daniel got to hear that. His brother, he's doing some electrical work here at my house. And let me clarify too, this is as a strategy, Jason. We're never truly done as family members, but as a strategy, it's not out of anger or anything like that. It's done
it's out of compassion.
with love, with just strategic, wise moves.
Yeah, it's rooted in compassion.
There's lots of people coming in line too. So
and Jason, just know that all these people see you right on the heat of your struggle right now. And you got a whole huge family here that knows what you're going through, understands it, and knows you're gonna make it, and knows that this is just part of the process. This isn't original. This isn't something that this is just part of how we get people to treatment. It's all normal.
Yes, okay. And I have to have a disclosure as well. So for everybody out there, just because we're saying this to Jason doesn't mean that this advice is one size fits all. And so I do want to caution, because just because things look the same, or it's never general advice that we give. We got to sit down with Jason and his wife, Abby, yesterday for like 2.5 hours. We got to know the situation. And, I always tell people, Art is playing chess. He's playing chess, and he's looking at the entire playing field, and he can see several steps ahead. So this is strategic advice from an expert. This is not one size fits all. And so I just want to caution, it doesn't mean that this is what you need to be doing just because you're hearing us cheer him on and, or whatever, say this. And just because the advice from Cam and all that, just be very careful. And that's why it's so valuable to have a coach in your corner, somebody that is an expert in this field outside of your family and friends circle, someone who's not emotionally invested in your case, but can really see it for what it is and is strategic right move. So please just be careful about that. So important. So thank you, Jason, so much.
Thank you.
We've got a couple other people in line. We lost one. She might have lost connection. So Memory, you are up. Let's put you on spotlight and get you unmuted. We lost Stacy somewhere there. She might have lost connection. I'll keep looking for her. Hey, Mem.
Hi.
Hey.
Wow, listening to Jason has me with some flashbacks, like some PTSD. I know exactly what he's going through. And I realized that it's not a one size fits all. It sounds so familiar. And I think that the biggest struggle when going through what Jason was going through is having the ability to talk to, the people that were so important in my life as far as family and people that my son was so closely connected to, and letting them all know exactly what it is that was happening and what we wouldn't allow. And I think it's something that I still struggle with today is having all the people that, your son may think that he can utilize or rely on because he's no longer welcome in your home, that those people may see that they're doing something good and they're not. They're
That's
not
right.
helping at all.
That's right.
By allowing
Never
him to
ask-
stay there.
They never ask the question, Memory. They never ask themselves why. They never say to your son, or they never say, "Hey, why won't your mom let you stay with her?" They never ask that question, and it can really lead you to a place of real resentment and anger towards those people, because they never ask the question, why do you not have anywhere else to go? And they think that there's always a new hero coming along to save the day, and they think that this person is they think the person is going to be good with them when they weren't good with anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
It's real dominating.
Yeah. So it's been a struggle that I still deal with.
Yeah, and you're dealing with your addict. People think you're mean or something. People think you don't love them, and they kind of, it's offensive when they think that they love your addict more than you do, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Because if I could just get them to fully understand that everything that I've done up until this point is nothing but absolute love for my son. That's right. Because I want nothing but to see him clean, sober, healthy. And I know they want that too. I just think they struggle with that line of, well, if I don't do this for him, where is he going to go? Or what is he going to do? Well, you have to not do that for him in order for him to figure out that where his ass needs to be right now is there, and he's not.
Yeah. And it's the exact same thing. It's the exact kind of anger and the exact kind of offensiveness I take towards people helping drug addicts on the street. It's the same thing, because for every drug addict on the street, there's a family that loves them, not helping them. And they're really, really struggling to not help them. And so some mothers just done the right thing and said, no, you can't come to my house for lunch. You can't come take a shower. And then here's some really offensive person that thinks that they're going to come give your son lunch and help him take a shower. And it's really offensive. It's offensive to the people that are doing the right things and knowing that they're doing the right thing, or maybe not knowing the right thing and sitting at home struggling with whether they should have their kid with them or not. And then whether they should have gave him the sandwich or not. And then somebody comes and do that and they don't think it's a problem, but it's pretty offensive, especially when you know what you can do for your son and what you had to stop doing. All the things that felt good to you when you got him some food, you let him take a shower, you gave him a roof over his head, all those things made you sleep at night. And you had to stop doing them. And there's people out there that just won't stop helping when they don't know what they're doing. And they're the problem, really, not your son. Your son's just doing what he's going to get away with,
Mm-hmm.
You're doing great, Memory. Really, you are. You're doing great.
Thank you.
You're doing awesome work, and you're right. And everything you've done is right. And you haven't made a mistake, and you're killing it. You're doing the best you can.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Need to hear it.
Yeah.
We'll have an update here this evening. I've got some messages coming through. We've got an update on your case, Mem, and just during the meeting here. But so yeah, we'll get to you in a few minutes afterwards.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
We'll get there.
Okay.
All right, Mem.
All right.
You look gorgeous.
Thank you.
All right, Brian. Let's get you unmuted. Hey, Brian.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I am in a very similar situation to Jason, except for my son's a couple states away. No car, no nothing. He's in a house that's prepaid with rent. And I've gone through everything that Jason says, helping out, think you're doing good by sending food. And it's been very, if it wasn't for Art and you, I'd be an absolute mess right now. And it is so hard to not help him, but to tell him, I want you to get you into treatment. That's all I talk about. I'm not going to help you any other way. And he just gets so angry. And that is so hard to deal with.
Yeah.
And, he took his wife down there with him. She's left him. She's on here. And it is it could have tore our whole family apart. It still has a lot of moving parts, but I think deep down inside, we all know that we're trying to do the best that we can do. And I thank you, Art. Thank you, Angie, for this every week. I don't know what I'd do without you guys.
Thanks, Brian. And I want to say something that, that anger that you're seeing, I've seen over and over now with the meth. And the meth is on another level in this country right now. And it is leading to this kind of anger and righteousness and this weird thing. It is a bad deal. And so, and it's hard not to take that anger personal. It's hard not to feel that anger come in and for a second wonder about yourself and wonder if you're doing the right thing and wonder if everything's okay, or if and they even try to convince you that they're not on meth. And when they do, and they do this and the anger comes in, I've been there. It is a pressure cooker. And I know exactly what you guys are going through, but you're killing it. You're doing a good job. You're following the right steps. It will prevail. Like I say, it's just like, give it time. It's like Novocaine. It always works. Just give it time. And if you do it long enough and just add a little more dose, it will work. Addiction is great and it's beautiful, and that it's not it's a scientific fact that an addict is fucked. It's not like a hypothesis. It's not like, it's not like a theory. It's like it always does its thing. Addiction has never lost. And that's sometimes for a minute you're like, oh, he might win. No, he won't. He will be broke. He will be homeless. He will be on his knees. Addiction puts you to your knees. It does its job. It never fails. And it's beautiful in that aspect. It's beautiful because if it puts that person to the right place and puts them on their knees, it's the only place of humility that exists. And at that place of humility is the only place where somebody can change their life. And it's a gift. So he might get that gift, we hope.
I'm hoping so.
All right. Thanks, Brian.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Thanks, Brian. Okay, we got one more and then we got to close up. Stacy, can we get you unmuted?
We need a closing song, Logan.
There you go.
Hey,
and my
Stacy.
picture is like
That's
this.
okay. That's okay. That's the only way I can get you on Spotlight. So that's why I
Okay.
requested the video.
All right. So I talked to my daughter today. She's in jail. And I said, are you ready to go to treatment? And she said, well, I'm sober, Mom. I'm like, well, you went through detox in jail, hon. And it's like reality check. And no, nowhere near reality. She says, listen, Mom, you got to take these names and get these people to get my bail. And I'm like, yeah. And I wrote down the names. I found one of them on Facebook. But, I'm hesitant to say, oh, would you bail my daughter out? And, that kind of thing. So she's,
I'm going to stop you right there. And I'm going to tell you, getting names off Facebook and doing that was never in our plan. That I called you Monday night or Sunday night.
Yeah.
I told you one thing. Don't do anything that Angie doesn't say to do.
Okay.
And I know Angie didn't tell you to look up names about people to bail out your daughter on Facebook.
No.
Angie hasn't lost. Okay. Well, let's stick with Angie because she knows what she's doing. Let's make sure you call her and don't make any moves. This is a very important time.
Well,
your
yeah.
daughter's not in reality yet because she's still in psychosis. The meth is still eating away her brain as she's sitting in jail right now, and she doesn't know reality yet. She needs to be in there long enough for the psychosis to go away so we can see her return to reality so you can speak to her civilly. She hasn't gotten there yet.
No. Okay.
Listen to Angie. Give her a call. Don't move without her.
Okay. And I appreciate you getting on with me the other night. I really do. It calmed me down. it didn't knock enough sense into me, but calm me down. Thank you.
See how quickly we can divert from the plan.
Yeah, I know. I'm
like that. That's the emotions. You're emotionally invested, and that's why you got to reach out again. You got to keep reaching out.
Yeah, it's just,
there's no different moves to make yet. Nothing.
Okay.
It's so quick. All right. Thanks, Stacy.
Thank you. I'll stay on the track now.
Yes. Well, I don't know if I believe you, but
no, I'm going to, I promise, because I'm so confused and I'm so full of directions to go and what to do because yeah.
Remember Monday I told you to get off the phone, have a glass of wine and take a bath.
That's right. That's right. And you know what? You don't have to take all her calls, and it might be best not to take any. I mean, there's why. So you don't have to be answering your calls because it just puts you on that crazy train, and it's not necessary.
Yeah, I did
drink some wine and have a bubble bath.
I did ask her to have her defense attorney call me, and she said, "Well, I'm not guilty, Mom. I never was even there, and I didn't do it, and blah blah blah
blah blah blah blah."
Yeah, blah 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 blah. And
listening to her is just tangling you all up.
I mean, I'm going to call the sheriff tomorrow and see if I can't get more details on what happened.
Wait. Nobody told you to do that. Hey, you're already off track. Okay, listen to
Okay.
All right.
Go take a bubble bath and have some wine. Do nothing.
Okay.
Do nothing.
The extent of my purpose. Okay.
Do nothing. Do nothing, Stacy.
All right.
Nothing.
Okay.
Yep. Don't answer the phone right now. Do nothing.
Thank you.
All right. We're ready to close up, Art. This was great. This was a good coaching was the theme tonight. People needed some coaching. That's good.
Yeah. Well, I always encourage, we get caught up in the circumstances and, as if that matters. If there's one thing that I know, the circumstances of my life seem to be impermanent. They change. They go in and out. They go better, good, whatever your opinion of the circumstances are. So we're not on, although we immediately want to go back to circumstances, what we're really doing here is enjoying some awareness. We're aware of this experience. We're having this experience, and we're not focusing on our circumstances. And so you'll see how quickly we forget and see how quickly we can get onto just being fixated on the circumstances of our life. And one thing I know is that for my entire life, there has been circumstances. They're there. And they have changed dramatically, not dramatically, and they went up and down and good, bad, and they went around, and there's always circumstances. And what happiness is not good circumstances, because they never get good. There's always a problem. So happiness is freed awareness. And I want to remind everybody of that. I want to remind you that to free your awareness, to talk, what will lead to happiness is now that some people got on here that were trapped and their awareness was stuck and they vented out some of their problems and they feel better. And you don't feel better because anything changed. You feel better because you got untrapped. And I just want everyone to understand what we're doing here. We aren't here. We're here to help each person see what actual freedom is. And that came from the fact that we've done this investigation into recovery and what it means to recover from drugs. And drugs used to, for us, and now we're teaching it to you, and the people in here are practicing it, and we're giving it to you. But for us in this room, drugs gave us freedom. And we had to find out what it was that was going to keep us free without drugs. And this is it. And so maybe some of you, although you're not using drugs, you're trying to use. And what I mean by that is you're trying to fix the circumstances, or you're trying to use food, or you're trying to use sex or hatred or anger or gambling or whatever or smoking cigarettes or drinking wine or whatever you're using. But the reality is that awareness is the only solution. And we can get free of that. That's it. And so I hope you practice what we're saying here. And I hope you see that it's not fixing it, that fixing it never comes, that if we're going to wait and we're going to be free and happy when we fix it, that will never arrive. So we're learning to be free even when the circumstances aren't good, even when the circumstances aren't the best. That's happiness. To be free even in the worst of circumstances. That's where we want to get. That's the goal. Not to fix the circumstances. They will change. So once again, thank you, everyone. See you next week.
Great message. Thanks, Art. Thanks, everybody.